Hi foodies, it's Shana. Today we have a tasty treat for you. Box patties are a relatively newer snack item made with samosa or spring roll pastry sheets. They're easier to fill and wrap than the traditional spring rolls or even samosas. The samosa pastry is coated with breadcrumbs before frying, which makes it an entirely different texture as well. The super insulated outer crust allows you to be more adventurous with the filling. We can make it creamy, cheesy, and it stays nice and secure while frying. So imagine the crumb-coated exterior, crisp to the bite, and once bitten into, warm and creamy and cheesy chicken filling, a bit like a hot chicken pot pie. So let's try this new recipe. Start off by taking out your samosa pastry or spring roll pastry from the freezer and setting it out at room temperature to thaw. Just follow the package instructions there. So if you're using samosa pastries, you need around 30 sheets, and if it's spring roll pastry sheets, 15 should do. Next, we're going to cook our chicken. Add 300 grams of boneless chicken breast to a pot with just enough water to cover it. Add half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper powder, along with 2 teaspoons of ginger and garlic paste. That's equal quantities of ginger and garlic crushed to a paste. Cover and cook for about 10 minutes. Check by inserting a knife at the thickest part of the breast. It should insert easily and no longer show any pink. Don't make the mistake of overcooking your chicken breasts here, as they tend to turn dry and really mess with the taste of any preparation. Allow to cool off a bit and then shred with hands into small pieces. Reserve the stock. We will need about 1 cup. Next, we're going to make the white sauce. Add 1½ tablespoons of butter to a pot or saucepan. Once the butter has melted, add 2 1/4 tablespoons of plain flour, and stir till the flour is cooked well. About 1 minute on a medium flame should do. It should turn a golden color but not go dark. This is our roux. Next, we're going to add 1½ cups of milk. You might need to add a little bit more milk later. Add a little bit of milk at a time, whisking as you do so to break up any lumps. Once 1 cup of milk is added, pour in the reserved stock, that's about 1 cup, and as it heats up, you can add a half a cup of the remaining milk. Keep stirring. Cook till the sauce becomes quite thick. Remember, it's intended for a filling and not as a sauce. Your ladle should be coated slightly with the mix. So after a bit, you find that the sauce has thickened a bit. It coats our ladle without dripping off completely. Next, we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder or paprika, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can add just a tiny bit of extra milk at this point if needed to loosen any thick sauce from the sides of the pot. Stir till smooth and remove from heat. Next, we're going to make the filling. For this, heat 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil in a saute pan. Add 4 tablespoons of onion that's been chopped, as well as 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Saute just briefly till everything is softened. And then we can add half a cup of green capsicum or half a cup of green bell pepper that has been diced like this. Saute once again till just softened. Add the shredded chicken to the pan and toss well. Cook, increasing the heat at this time. All the flavors should coat the chicken well. Once you can really smell the capsicum, you can pour in the white sauce. So now the capsicum is nice and fragrant, I'm going to add the prepared white sauce. Stir and rinse out the pot in which the sauce was made with a little bit more milk, around half a cup. Add this too, this will give us the right consistency. Stir this well and cook till this mixture thickens up once again to make a perfect filling consistency. So it's thickened up to some extent. We can add half a teaspoon of dried chili pepper flakes. And half a teaspoon of dried Italian seasoning. Italian seasoning is a blend of dried basil, oregano, sage, rosemary, marjoram, and thyme. It is of course recommended for this recipe, but if you don't have it, you can add dried basil and oregano together instead. Stir and cook just briefly till everything is nice and fragrant. So we are making cheesy chicken box patties. For this, we're going to add half a cup of grated cheese. You can use mozzarella or light cheddar. Stir this just until the cheese melts through. Later, give it a taste and add extra Italian seasoning to taste. Set the filling mixture aside to cool off. Now we can get started wrapping our cheesy chicken box patties. For this, take 2 thawed Samosa pastry sheets and lay one vertically and one horizontally over the center. It should make a plus shape like this. So if you're working with the spring roll pastry sheets, the large ones, instead, what you want to do is you want to cut them into 2 strips of this size and then do the same. Place about 2 spoons of the prepared filling right on the center and spread slightly. Lift one side of the bottom sheet and cover the center. Then lift one side of the other sheet and cover this. Repeat again this way with alternate sheets, and now you have boxed the patty, sort of a pillow shape. Sometimes you notice that when you open your packet of samosa pastry, some of the sheets are torn. This is an absolutely great recipe for using up those torn sheets of samosa pastry because you can work it in such a way that it's unnoticed in the final product. Make a little slurry by mixing flour and water to help glue the final sides of the patty together. So we're just going to continue like this till we've finished up all our filling. We can make around 13 cheesy chicken box patties in this method. Of course you can fry these patties straight away, but these patties are so much better when they have a breadcrumb coating. For this we have beaten 2 eggs just adding a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. And you'll need about 2 cups of panko breadcrumbs. So you want to just lightly dip each of the patties in the egg mixture. Place the panko crumbs in a shallow plate and you just want to dip the patties one by one into the breadcrumbs. So for this, always use one hand to dip the patties in the egg mixture and another hand to coat the patties with the breadcrumbs. Repeat like this for all the chicken box patties. And now we're ready to fry our cheesy chicken box patties. Heat oil just enough for deep frying in a pan or a small wok. Fry the patties just one or a couple at a time according to the size of your pan or wok. Fry on a medium flame so that the crust does not get too brown too quickly before the filling actually heats up enough. Fry like this, flipping over a couple of times till it's evenly golden brown. After a few batches, you might need to strain out the burnt breadcrumbs from the oil to prevent the next batch from getting burnt bits attached to it. So fry as many cheesy chicken box patties as you like and you can freeze the rest for later. Serve immediately with some ketchup or chili sauce, crispy crunchy on the outside and hot and creamy, a delicious filling inside. We hope you try the recipe. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Bye!